Hi guys, Robert Horovitz here with lifelongwell.ca. Before I discuss my thoughts on coffee, whether it's good for you, bad for you, and by the way, things that have to do with coffee, but I think actually shed some light on the industry as well, the natural health industry. I think you're going to learn a lot. I think a lot of things about coffee you can pertain to the natural health industry, and I'm going to show you how. Stay tuned. But before I talk about that, you guys don't mind if I pour myself a cup, do you? I mean, we're all health mates, right? And this beautiful Chemex. Oh, if you guys haven't tried brewing coffee from a Chemex, I strongly suggest you do. Guys, it's fantastic. It's fresh, keeps the aroma, and you know, it's not bitter at all. If you guys don't want bitter coffee, by the way, all you need to do is grind it fresh. I use a hand grinder, but you can use a good conical burr grinder, so a grinder that doesn't have a blade. The blades kind of suck because the blade just smacks the bean, and so the bean breaks up into a million uneven pieces. So it's like potatoes. When you put potatoes in the oven, you know how the larger potatoes might get undercooked, but the smaller potatoes will get burnt? That's kind of how it is with coffee. When you put coffee in water, the larger particles are going to be under-extracted, the smaller particles are going to get over-extracted and bitter. And so by having an even grind, you reduce that bitterness right away. The next thing is temperature, and I'm not a coffee aficionado by any means, but if you have a little thermometer, you can measure it. It should be about 195 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's right. You could check the coffee blog on that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And then the ratio, of course, I use a scale to measure my coffee. I found that about 19 grams, if you're using a dark roast, 19 grams of coffee for about 300 mils of water works really, really well in the Chemex. Anyway, just gonna put some sugar. Is it sugar? Am I putting sugar in coffee? We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna get to that soon, and of course some cream too. You didn't think I'd drink coffee black, did you? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a herb like any other, as the experts will tell you. So why not drink it black? But guys, I just don't like the taste. Duh. And I'm sure a lot of you don't like the taste of black coffee either. Just gonna put this in the fridge. That's better. Cheers, health mates, to your health. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love coffee. I don't drink coffee often, but when I do, guys, it's usually certified organic if I can find coffee, which brings me to some interesting points on those chemical-free coffees that are out there. That if it's certified organic, there should be very little, if any, chemicals in there anyway. So I don't see why people are buying these specialty coffees that are toxin-free, unless they have some type of certification on them that I'm not aware of. Do they have some kind of lab test facility, third-party lab test to measure toxins? Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's get back to it. Coffee being good or bad for you. Guys, I gotta say that I actually think coffee is incredibly good for you. I mean, when they've taken coffee drinkers over long periods of time, you really only see a lot of benefit. But the trick is amount of coffee and also what you're putting in it, obviously. So depending what you're putting in the coffee, that can sort of poison your cup in a way and make it unhealthy. I mean, really, the main way to drink coffee is, of course, black. But coffee has incredible healing properties. First of all, cardiovascular health. In long-term studies, coffee's been shown to be protective in many ways. You know, the coffee drinker who drinks between, let's say, 2 and 3 cups a day, and this is what I drink. I drink, you know, a normal size mug. I consider this to be normal. It's about maybe 9 ounces of coffee or so. I drink about 2 of them. I drink one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And by some standards, that's high. I look at people who are in office buildings. A lot of times they drink full pots of coffee. That's overdoing it for me. But coffee has incredible properties. The caffeine within coffee is actually really healthy for you in moderation, I think. It enhances focus, alertness, right? It's a diuretic, so it helps get rid of water, which in small amounts can be healthy. It can help with bowel movement. By the way, as you start to get to know me in these videos, this is my universal symbol for bowel movement. You know that famous naturopathic question, right? How's your bowel movement doing? Well, coffee can help, you know, move things along, shall we say. Some compounds from the coffee bean itself have been implicated in weight loss therapies, such as chlorogenic acid, which I'll be getting to as well. Green coffee bean extracts, right, that are very high in chlorogenic acid. So we'll get to that in a bit. So I think in moderation, in small amounts, let's say 1 to 2 cups a day, I think it'd be incredibly healthy. It can be a drink that can help with productivity, can help you stay alert. If you have a job where you're on the road all the time, that's incredibly important. I would say staying alert is incredibly healthy, right? You don't want to get into an accident. Where coffee can be a real problem, besides caffeine overload, right? And too much sugar and cream full of saturated fat, all of these things that are sort of unhealthy in large amounts. Coffee itself, even just being a diuretic, I would say one of the biggest things, even in moderate coffee drinkers, that you really need to consider, in my opinion, is water. Because it's a diuretic and it pulls water out of the body, most of us aren't even really drinking enough water to begin with. Are you? I mean, I try and get 6 glasses of water. I mean, I'm not a big guy. You know, I'm lucky even if I get 4 cups of water a day. Coffee, every time you drink a cup of coffee, the caffeine pulls water out, which is why, especially if you're stressed, if you're under a lot of stress, you'll see you pee. You pee frequently, maybe every half hour maybe or so, right? And so all that water, you're getting rid of all that water, how are you really replenishing it? If you play sports on top of that, caffeine can be an excellent motivator, right? It gives you energy, it sort of makes you feel like you have energy, it makes the heart pump faster, so a lot of people will take in caffeine before a workout. Now, I don't recommend taking caffeine pills, but you know, drinking a half a cup to a cup of coffee can be pretty useful. And even then, some say you shouldn't do it because it increases heart rate, right? So that's for you to decide. I think optimally you could do it without, but if you're exhausted, you just don't want to go to the gym and that cup of coffee is going to help motivate you, why not? But that diuretic effect can drain water. So if you want to stay healthy, one of the fundamentals for sustaining life is adequate water. So that typical 6 to 8 glasses, I think there's some truth to that. There's a lot of debate, but guys, even 5 glasses, are you even drinking 5 cups of water? A cup is 250 ml, so 4 cups is a liter. It's 2 of those measuring cups. So like those glass measuring cups for baking, it's 2 of those. Are you drinking 2 of those? Are you drinking 2 of those plus 1 measuring cup worth of water every single day? Because even if you are and you drink 2 cups of coffee, it's kind of like, even though you're drinking 5 cups of water, it's kind of like you're only drinking 2 to 3 because it's pulling it out of your body. And it's making it so you don't really retain the water as you should, and you're not delivering the water to the proper places. So I think that's a good enough tip for this video. When you drink coffee, make sure you drink more water. For every cup of coffee you drink, I would suggest drinking a half to a cup more water than what you should. So if you normally drink 4 cups of coffee, but you're drinking 4 cups of water, but you're drinking, if you're drinking 2 cups of coffee and you normally drink 4 cups of water, I try and bump it to 5 to 6. And really, the norm for most people should be about 5 cups of water or so a day. And if you're doing vigorous activity, then it goes way up. But I'm talking about the normal person who exercises, very moderately, twice a week, a half-hour jog or something. I would suggest doing that, not as advice, but to look into it and consider it, as there's no advice on this YouTube channel. This is just friends discussing health. So I'll see you guys in the next video.